I hope you're having a good weekend. It is Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. February 1st, 2019. Hard to believe that it's just the first day of February. January felt like it was forever. But nonetheless, thanks for tuning in again, guys. Just another reminder, if you like what you see here today, if you find some value in these videos, then like and subscribe and hit the little bell. You'll get notifications and you'll be the first to know on the next content release. So today we're going to discuss a little bit more in depth the Quadrigacx exchange troubles that they've been having. If you haven't seen the video, go back to the channel and just look at the preliminary development that we had posted about on Quadriga. And we received some additional information from the exchange itself. And there was actually an article on CoinDesk that I'll bring up here in just a second that we'll talk about. But essentially, it's not looking good. It's not looking good at all. I'm one of these affected by this insolvency, basically. Quadriga is filing for creditor protection. For those of you that don't know, for those of you that have money on the exchange or crypto, unfortunately, it's not looking good at this point. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say. I'm trying to stay hopeful, and it's not over until it's over, so to speak. But it's hard to believe. You see all these articles online about people and exchanges getting hacked or shut down, or maybe they weren't hacked, they were just unsuccessful, or they ran out of money. Again, they were insolvent. So again, we're going to talk a little bit more in depth now that we have some additional information provided to us. So I'm going to bring this up here now. This is directly from the Quadriga website, message from the board of directors. So essentially what happened was when the new CEO was appointed, or when they were looking for a new CEO or a new leader, they basically didn't know what to do because of the troubles that they were having, the financial issues that they were having, the legal issues, and they decided to basically put the exchange on pause. And we're going to dive into exactly what this says. So, dear customers, they filed for creditor protection in accordance with the Company's Creditor Arrangement Act. It was filed on January 31st in the Nova Scotia Supreme Court. And it's to address the significant financial issues that they've been having as of late and how they can serve their customers efficiently and successfully. And for the past several months, they haven't been able to fulfill any withdrawal requests. Part of that is because of the lawsuit that they were involved with CIBC, the Canadian Imperial Bank. There was a few... They came out of court actually and they beat that, but there was quite a few people online saying that they withdrew money and they never received it. So this is all tied back to these financial troubles that they were having for months now. So basically the hearing is to be held on Tuesday, February 5th. So we'll find out more information after that date. And they hired an independent third party, Ernst & Young, to basically oversee those proceedings. So for the past few weeks, we've worked extensively to address our liquidity issues, which include attempting to locate and secure our very significant cryptocurrency reserves held in cold wallets. So what that means is it's held in offline storage, and it's held in a cold wallet that is less susceptible to hacking. And basically, when the CEO passed away, there was a lot of speculation on whether or not it was an exit scam. That doesn't seem to be the case. What has transpired now, and what is believed to be the case, is that the CEO didn't actually make a backup or let anybody know what these private keys were for this cold storage, because they have a hot storage wallet which they would use for small amounts or smaller amounts, and then they had their large amounts taken off into the cold storage to prevent a hacking attempt or anything like that might come their way. So they held a good majority in cold storage, which they weren't able to access, And this is required to satisfy cryptocurrency balances and deposits. So not just crypto itself, but fiat currency. So US dollars, Canadian funds, that type of fiat, right? So it's not looking good. This was posted again on January 31st, and it almost feels like a month since this has been going on, or since it's been down. It's only been down for a few days, but if you've lost money, or if you've lost crypto, or if you've been negatively impacted by this, then you would know that time seems to just crawl by. It feels like an eternity. So unfortunately, they haven't been successful in these efforts, along with their banking institutions. So basically, they need a financial medium for these bank drafts to be able to settle fiat currency. So when people withdraw Canadian funds, they need to have that, that middleman basically that handles the transactions for the banking drafts to the customer. And that's what they've been unsuccessful with. If you actually look up Crypto Capital is a firm that basically does all of that. So they handle all of the fiat, and they basically connect the fiat system to the cryptocurrency system. And all of the exchanges that they basically represent have gone insolvent. So CEX.io is another one. Quadrigacx was one of the exchanges that they represented, and BitMEX as well. And BitMEX is still in operation, but it just goes to show you guys that you can never leave your money on an exchange. And we'll talk a little bit about in just a second what we can do to prevent this. But I want to jump over here to the CoinDesk article, which basically goes a little bit more in depth. And I'll mention it right now just so that I don't forget. And I really want to mention this before the end of the video, and I want to keep this short. So what can we do, or what could we have done to protect ourselves from this event? So there's a few things we could have done. Keep it on a ledger or a Trezor, and have it on a hardware wallet. Make sure that if you're going to transfer something to the exchange, that you transfer it, and when you're done your trade, or when you're done whatever it is that you're doing to, maybe you're going to transfer it into a different type of cryptocurrency, whatever the case may be, transfer it back to your hardware wallet immediately after. And guys, I personally lost a significant amount of fiat in Canadian funds that was on this site that I have no access to, and I've worked for the last 2 years on building up that capital, and it's sickening, really. It's absolutely sickening to try and make sense of it all. And the fact of the matter is, it's only money, and we need to be able to recognize that cryptocurrency is a very risky asset class. So we need to constantly, another thing that we can do is to basically not put all of our eggs in one basket, so to speak. So if you're going to use an exchange, you can use an exchange with maybe half of your capital or a third of your capital, and then another third on another exchange, just to protect yourself in the event of a insolvency or a bankruptcy or financial hardship. So another thing that we can do is use an exchange that has insurance. So basically you're covered up to a certain amount if said exchange ever gets hacked or becomes insolvent. So just a few things, guys, that we can do. I want to keep moving on because, like I said, I want to keep this video short and sweet. So CoinDesk just released an article here about Quadrigacx and how it owes its customers $190 million after this has transpired. I'm surprised it's only 190 million, but regardless, that's still a lot of money of hardworking Canadians, and not just Canadians, but people from all over the world that have trusted this exchange and have now fell victim to this horrible, horrible sequence of events. So I'm going to skim through this here. So basically, troubled Canadian exchange Quadrigacx owes its customers 190 million, which it cannot access most of the funds according to the court filing. So the affidavit, which was filed on January 31st in the Supreme Court of Nova Scotia, Jennifer Robertson, who's the widow of Gerald Cotton, the owner the founder of Quadriga, said that the exchange owes its customers roughly 250 million Canadian, which 190 million US, in both cryptocurrency and fiat. So the company previously announced it filed for creditor protection on its website. You know, blah, 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 go through here. So 115,000 users with balances signed up on the exchange, with 70 million in Canadian funds and 180 million in Canadian funds in crypto owed overall, according to that filing. So they had 26,500 Bitcoin, 92 million equivalent. You can see here quite a stack of crypto, and yeah, it's inaccessible. They don't have access to it. It's not clear what portion of the exchange crypto holding were kept in cold stores versus the hot wallet that they have. But his wife explained that only a minimal amount of coins were stored in the hot wallet and specifics were not provided. So Robertson added that the normal procedure was that Quadriga CEO Gerald Cotton was to move the majority of the coins to cold storage, as that was you know, a mechanism of protecting against hacking and virtual theft. So she added Cotton had sole responsibility, which is just absolutely mind-boggling, that they would not have a contingency plan or a backup or somebody in the loop, or, you know, that would have access to these private keys. So he was the only one responsible for handling those funds and coins, and the remaining of the team members have no luck accessing the cold wallet private keys. There's a possibility of some of the Quadriga funds are still being held in other exchanges. They're still looking into it, but it hasn't been confirmed. Cotton reportedly died of Crohn's disease in Jaipur, India in early December of last year, and the exchange announced his death earlier this month. The death certificate was included in the list of exhibits. So initially they said that there was no proof or death certificate certification, but now they're in this article, they're saying that it was included in the list of exhibits. So a little bit of new information there. The founder seemingly had sole control and of knowledge of Quadriga's cold storage solution. Robinson wrote that after his death, Quadriga's inventory in cryptocurrency has become unavailable, and some of it may even be lost. So it's not looking good, guys. As I said, she later added that they have no business records. Basically, they were left with the laptop, but it was encrypted, and they're not able to crack the password. And they've hired a consultant to come on board and attempt to unlock the computer, but they've been unsuccessful in doing so far. So again, they had a legal fight with CIBC, which I mentioned earlier. In particular, another payment processor, Billerfee, reported problems finding a banking partner. I'm not going to go through all of this here, but they say that 30 million Canadian is being held by them. You can read this on your own time. Just go to Google and search CoinDesk Quadriga creditor protection. So yeah, we can't disclose. So due to confidentiality issues, they weren't able to disclose any information, and the US SEC was cracking down on them. Later on, we see here a request for assistance. So the affidavit concludes with a request to the court enter a day of proceedings to preempt any lawsuits that might be filed. So the exchange is attempting to urgently receive a stay of proceedings, which would allow Quadriga and its creditors an additional time to find whatever stores of cryptocurrency may be out there and available to them, so that they can satisfy customer needs. But here's the kicker: many, if not all, of the exchange customers might suffer further damages without a stay, she said. So users have been complaining about withdrawal issues for quite some time. Robertson noticed that the exchange's new director voted to temporarily pause the platform on January 26th, though they did not explicitly say that the website was down as a result. The portal only became inaccessible sometime in the morning of January 28th. So to help pay users back, the exchange is considering selling off its platform, which they believe could be very lucrative and valuable. But all that could change if they get lawsuits and whatnot against them. So we'll have to wait and see what comes of this. But again, I'm going to try and remain hopeful for those that are affected by this, like myself. We definitely have to see this through to the end, and the worst part of it all is it's not going to be a quick procedure. It's going to be a long, drawn-out process by the looks of it. Quadrigacx is hoping that the court will be scheduled a hearing of February 5th to confirm the stay of proceedings, as well as appoint that third-party company, Ernst & Young, to oversee the operations. So they go into the affidavit. I'm not going to go into details about that, but as you can see, we've got a little bit more information, but everything's just not looking good. Again, I'm almost sick to my stomach I mean, the amount of money that I had in the exchange was chump change compared to 190 million, but I personally have friends and relatives and acquaintances that had money in the exchange, just like myself, just like many of you. And, you know, this isn't over until it's over. So stay positive. I know it's very, very discouraging, and a lot of you might be wondering what you're going to do or if you're going to get out of crypto completely. And I just want to share with you my thoughts. I'm definitely not going down without a fight. This will not be the end of my crypto investing or career. So guys, just stay positive and just remember that, you know, there's always something out there that we can do to protect ourselves. And again, like and subscribe. If there's any further updates, I'll be sure to send them your way, and tick the little bell so that you get the alert right off the bat. So guys, have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.